Hey guys, Ollie the Tea Guru on location here in beautiful Bali. This is a video I've been meaning to make for a while now. I want to talk about single tree Raw Pu Erh. It's something that I wouldn't say I'm in two minds about. I've made my decision on whether I like it or not, but I'm not here to criticize anyone that's into single tree. Now, so single tree Pu Erh is very simply Pu Erh taken from a single tree. And you know what, I think this is okay if, for example, someone goes to a remote location where there is maybe 2 or 3 really good trees, and you know, that's kind of okay. But I think where it goes wrong is when you've got a plantation, you've got a tea farm, and the farmer will isolate the most ancient of his tea trees to satisfy the demand for single tree. We're going more and more towards exclusivity, you know, and it's very tempting to get involved and try single tree when, you know, you're standing underneath a tree and you can point at that tree and say, the tea in this tea cake has come from this tree and none other. I mean, it's a very strong marketing force, and you know, it makes sense when we're moving more and more into from single estate into now single tree. It kind of makes sense. The problem I've got is that when a farmer decides to do a certain amount of his yield and puts it towards single tree, he's sacrificing the complexity of the rest of his yield. So, you know, if a farmer's got 3 trees that are over sort of 250 years of age, it's very tempting for that farmer to do single tree offerings for those 3 trees, and he'll make more money that way. The problem is you're sacrificing the Gushu from the rest of that plantation. So when you're buying Gushu from his plantation, from his farm even, it won't have the most ancient Gushu within that blend, if you like. The reason why people gravitate towards single tree is not just for the exclusivity, but single tree offerings will be very, very strong in a particular nuance or note. So, say for example, a certain tea garden is extremely pronounced in a honey kind of taste. You'll probably find that the single tree offering from that farm will be super duper pronounced in that flavor profile. I had this conversation with one of my clients a few months ago. I'm into complexity. I like complexity. So when you're isolating single tree to the sacrifice of the rest of the farm and its overall Gushu blend, I don't think it's such a great idea. Now, this year, in many regions, the yield of Sheng was quite low. There was just too much wet weather. This means that the yield was super low, and when you're in a position like that, as a farmer, when you know, you've been working on these trees the whole year, and it's time to sort of pull the money out and send your produce to market, and you've got maybe 20 to 30% of the normal yield. That's when you can sort of forgive farmers for going down the single tree route. Now this year the yield was so low, but in some regions the yield that was created and put to market was extremely good. So for those reasons, I'm not a massive fan on single tree. I think it's inevitable, though. I think it's inevitable, the market that centres so much towards exclusivity. I mean, you know, when there's only 1 or 2 cakes of this single tree in existence, you're going to want it. The price is going to be super high, and there's going to be a buyer, right? I just hope that this trend is going to be contained somewhat. I don't think I'm ever going to offer it. I don't think that it's just not for me. I don't think it's for the better good of the tea community in general. Again, I'm not criticising anyone who's going down the single tree route and enjoys it. I mean, you know, I think, like I said, if it's single tree from a remote area where, you know, there's not too many trees to play with, that's kind of different. But when you're talking about established farms that decide to kick out single tree to the expense of the rest of their Gushu yield, I don't really like the sound of that, because the guys that are going to be going for the single tree ultimately are the heavy hitters, the VIPs, and the guys that really don't mind laying down a lot of money for some super good tea. That's fine, but what about the rest of us, hey? Share the love. Ollie, the tea guru, on location in Bali. More videos coming soon. We're going to be visiting a tea shop in Bali. They specialise in Indonesian tea, especially a very good black and oolong. The oolong is supposed to be very similar to Taiwanese oolong. We'll see. And if it's any good, we'll be bringing some to the store. Don't forget, while I'm away, 8% off everything in store. Of course, I'm sorry I'm not here drinking tea. I haven't got the apparatus to do so, but happy cupping, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.